All right. Welcome, welcome. So this is going to be our inaugural meeting of the Rotary Earth Network Club. And we feature Earth Talks, which is our seminar today with Mr. J.N. Prasad. And you will hear more from for him a little later. But first, Lori, do you want to put up the Okay, so welcome, you guys. So we are really grateful to all our members and associates and donors and volunteers for their support with this club and with Earth Talks. Well, we'd love to have you consider joining us. You can join as a full-time Rotary member. It's $180 a year. I think it's what, $15 a month? 180, yep, a
15,
year.
15 a
Yep,
month?
15 a month, yep. Or you can join as an associate if you're already a member of another club and you don't want to leave your other club, which we don't blame you for. You can join as an associate for $25, or all of this is going to be free. This is a Rotary Club meeting, so you don't, that doesn't have to keep you, no financial burden has to keep you from joining us every week or whenever you want. So we do want you to mute your audio when not speaking, just like in the last time with the seminars, out of respect to our speakers. And then the recordings and resources are going to be available on our Earth Talks Foundation website. So we have a Rotary Earth Network Club. We do not have the website up for that yet, but our Earth Talks Foundation is a nonprofit that is going to support our Earth Talks program. So, and then speaker views, like before, speaker views are their own, not necessarily reflect Rotary International. We will mostly be getting you on here for things that we feel very strongly, feels very, very well good about. So, but we have to put that up for Rotary International disclaimer. All right, go ahead, Lori. Next slide. So we want to start with our Rotary four-way test. For those of you who are new to our club or new to Rotary, these are the things that we base our whole Rotarian life on. These are our four-way tests. So we're going to add emphasis for the environment. So of the things that we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth?
Is the environmental information accurate, science-based, and transparent?
Second, is it fair to all concerned?
Does it protect people, ecosystems, and future generations?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Does it encourage collaboration, shared responsibility, and community trust?
And fourth, will it be beneficial for all concerned, to all concerned?
Does it improve environmental health, human well-being, and long-term sustainability?
Excellent. So those are the things that's our four-way test we will do at the beginning of each meeting. Also, like I said before, if you just came in, we're going to be doing something called Project Teasers, and that's going to be a form that we'll be able to put in to the chat soon. Well, maybe, or yeah, we probably should put it in the chat eventually. And that's just something that we are going to be running in other meetings. Yeah. So for now, though, does anybody have any quick questions about our new format?
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session. And I'm so glad to introduce our guest speaker, Jain Prasad, to whom already I am very well known. And he is actually very much expert in the biodiversity aspects point of view. So his introduction is Jain Prasad has been a keen naturalist and bird watcher for over 4 decades. He has been inspiring, motivating lots of people to take up interest in bird watching and nature conservation through nature's walk, talks, workshops, and nature camps, assisting many organizations, educational institutions, NGOs, and government departments. Professionally, he is a wellness coach helping people to lead healthy and active lifestyle with a good nutrition. At postgraduate in international marketing and also in ecology and environment, he has contributed to over 50 papers, reports, and notes to his credits in leading national and international publications. One of the co-founder, Merlin Nature Club, which became the cradle of learning of many Bangalore's most enthusiastic naturalists Continuing the passion Dr. Joseph George had for nest boxes, especially for cavity nesters like robins that are facing a huge challenge to find the space, and Prasad started Gudu, the network of volunteers who build nest boxes for sparrows and other birds. For all this and more, he has also been recognized and awarded by Rotary Club for outstanding service and contribution to the community. Jain Prasad is a veteran naturalist and bird watcher with 40 plus years experience, 50 plus scientific papers, and postgraduate training in marketing and ecology. He is a co-founded Merlin Nature Club, mentor Bangalore naturalists, and launched the Gudu Nest Boxes Network and earned Rotary recognition. So I am so proud and glad to introduce our guest speaker. So I am uh, actually, this is one of the excellent first meeting of our program, Earth Talk program. And Karin, I want you to lead the session ahead. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
There you are.
Namaste, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining this session. And Namaste is the form of greeting from India for those of you who are new to our kind of culture of greeting each other, because it is applicable for whether it's morning or evening or afternoon, doesn't matter, because we are so many of us connected from different parts of the world.
Namaste.
So let me first of all mute you all, because I want to start off the session to introduce a little bit of bird diversity from India, so that you will be able to see a wonderful glimpse for a short video. So I would request you to pay attention to your screen. It's a beautiful video from my friends Rana and Sugandhi, just to give you a glimpse of the sample of nearly 1,400 species of birds that we have in India out of the 11,000 species we have in the world. What we have been doing is to help to create a little bit of awareness, and we have an opportunity to introduce the nature and the natural surroundings as be it the different forms of wildlife, and through the bird's eye view of introducing the people. That's what we do. And the easiest, because birds are everywhere around, and as some of you may be familiar with this bird introduced from India and has become a pest in some parts of the world. This is the red-whiskered bulbul, also referred as a red-cheeked bulbul in some books. And the way it calls is quite melodious, as pleased to meet you, as I am so pleased to meet you all. Or it also has a way of melodious twittering call. You can interpret it in English as take me with you, as the Rotary Club travels around the world, taking the message of the powerful message on behalf of the unique planet Earth. We can communicate, and also its cousin, the red-vented bulbul, is a little bit of as a harsher tone called says, take care, be fair, a rough double note that it always has, that warning of the danger what the humans are doing for the neighborhood things. And the barbet is another cavity nesting bird. So our focus has been mainly on the secondary hole nesting birds. Let me explain in a while about what they mean. There are some birds like these barbets and the woodpeckers, which are called as the primary nest hole makers. Means every breeding season, they excavate a neat little hole and a cavity into the dead branch of a tree, so that they can lay their eggs safely and incubate and bring up the chicks, so that they can feed them and take care of them until they have strong enough and have their wings well developed, so that they can fly out of the nest hole. And once these primary nest hole makers abandon their nest, there are a team of other secondary hole nesters. And these are the birds which do not know how to make the cavities in the dead branch of a tree, or they do not have the tools to make those. Like, for example, the chisel-shaped beak of this barbet or the woodpecker is the one which it can neatly excavate a perfect cylindrical hole and a depth. And I'll show you a couple of slides. Another emphasis that we have been doing is about to bring about the awareness of the once very common house sparrow, which the Bangalore city, the place I come from, was the one which introduced this species to the world, actually. That's where in 1828, the Jardine and Selby collected a specimen from Bangalore, and they got this species described for the science of birds. And so these birds are rapidly disappearing in many of the urban cities these days because of the changing pattern of the nesting patterns have changed. There is changes with the rapid urbanization. The urban infrastructure has changed, and we have a lot of birds which are not willing to take care of the botheration of building a nest, laying eggs, and incubating. They have turned to be opportunists, like the quails or the cuckoo family birds, which have taken the foster parent here, in this case, a house crow. A male quail chick is coming up here on the left, and the female chick is developing here, which both of them look totally unlike the foster parent here, which is forced to feed them, thinking it's as if it's their own. So these are the group of birds, we call them as brood parasites, and they depend on that. We have plenty of scavengers like these crows feeding on the dead rat here, on the keeping our environment clean. Our main focus has been about a concern over these beautiful, lovely birds called the magpie robin, the oriental magpie robin, a beautiful songbird, often unfortunately caught and sold in many parts of South and Southeast Asia. And in Bengal, the local name for this bird is literally translating into English, refers as a bird of the 1,000 songs. It has a beautiful voice at which it sings early morning and evenings, and has the habit of utilizing those secondary hole cavities which is abandoned on the trees, like the barbets and the woodpeckers. Once they finish, these are the little birds which go and occupy. Now, there has been challenges, and let me share another slide so that this image is better for you. Because not all birds require the different kind of or the same kind of platform. And many of you are familiar with these penguins, the way they are nesting. Simply on the little rocks, they lay their eggs and move them onto their feet for the incubation. Whereas the grebes have this floating vegetation, which is piled up into a platform, or the flamingos scoop up mud on the shoreline in order to make their egg in a dry environment so that they can incubate. There are some other crab plovers which burrow into the mud, or the megapods which make use of the decaying leaves in order to incubate from the heat of this decaying leaves, so that these megapods chicks can hatch out of those eggs. There are other ground nesting birds like the lapwing, or the dome-shaped nests of the cuckoo, or this is not all cuckoos are brood parasites. There are some cuckoos are exceptional. They make their own. Or there are some other birds like the cavity nesters of the tits, or the Baya weaver, or the pendant shaped, or we have the cup shaped platforms, or the elaborate nests of the leaves being stitched, or the earth being excavated on the lateral cut sections of the kingfisher, or the ledges by the falcons, or the edible nest swiftlets, which makes a little nest out of its own saliva. And unfortunately, it's being preferred as a delicacy in many parts of Southeast Asia, which has made this bird's nest being harvested and made out into a bird nest soup, which is supposed to give some sort of a magical powers for the people who consume that. So this is the kind of variety sample of different birds has different kind of requirements. Like some of you may want to have a villa, or some of you may be happy with a small bedroom, 1-bedroom house, or some people want to have a 3-bedroom with a garage, or maybe you need a larger community or a gated community compounds. Similarly, the birds have so many different preferences for them, because over the period of evolution, they have learned the art of actually choosing what suits best for them, like this tailor bird. Okay, it has the famous ability to stitch the leaves and make this, or bring up the young ones just by folding up, or the elaborate nest of the Baya weaver birds, which are known to weave into a fine blade of grass, which they have been bringing and making up this list. And the interesting pattern of this bird behavior is the Baya male is the one which is a beautiful architect who knows how to nest, whereas a female is a building inspector. She comes and pokes and pulls and tugs whether the nest is strong enough. Then she accepts him and then mates with him. The female lays the eggs and takes care of the responsibility of incubating and raising the young ones, whereas the male is very much interested in going and building one more nest to attract another female. He is a polygamous species. So number of successful nests he can complete, he can acquire that many number of females in a season. So there are a lot of fascinating insights about various kinds of bird nests. Let me show you a couple of more species which has got a different structures, like the previous one was the sunbirds. We do not have hummingbirds in India. And we have the swallows, which use the mud, as well as the robins, which use this kind of a cut section. Very easy to make a nest box for the robins, on this, especially the Indian robins. And all you need to do is a couple of bricks and a small secluded place. It's good enough. The bulbuls have their own neat cup-shaped nest with which they can do. And because of the challenges of the rapid urbanization, many of the places where they need to have this kind of a bush is actually they're lacking that provision. So they're nesting. This is an old unused umbrella being hung in someone's house, and the bird has made a nest out of it. And this is an actively used door on a door handle. This nest is there. So because of the paucity of the bushes, they have tried to find out ways. So the challenge, what is happening is, this is a picture of an woodpecker, which is actually excavated a neat nest hole, and it goes just like barbets. But they prefer to use the dead branches because easy to scoop out the nest hole. But unfortunately, there are a lot of these dead branches or dead trees are the ones in parks. Many consider that they may fall on their head, and they often have it removed, or it can be carted out as a concern for safety reasons. But this is what is happening in the city where I live in, called Bangalore, also called as Silicon City by some people. It's in the south of India. And you have the greenery or the vast open spaces that we used to have earlier. You see, from 1975 to 2020, how the concretization has taken place over because of massive influx of the people, and they needed homes to live or the offices to work in. And that's how many of the green spaces has come down. Birds somehow try to adjust to the changes in the climate, but there has been a big challenges. The loss of greenery, we are already witnessing that we have only 3 seasons, hot, hotter, hottest is as what we call it, unlike some of the cities which are blessed with having a cool winter. So we have now what used to be called as a pensioner's paradise or a garden city has now become like a bane of the huge infrastructure changes due to rapid demand for the wider roads, and the metro lines is coming up, and you have a lot of challenges. This is a tree with the barbet's nest hole. And just to show you, this is the cross section of the nest hole and how deeply they can scoop out the nest. The traffic jams are worldwide becoming major concern. I won't be surprised if a day comes where the birds would start nesting on the tires of the buses or trucks, where the vehicles would hardly move. So this is the major challenge that we have. And they would probably even be nesting on the traffic signal lights as well. If we can imagine the frustrations of the human beings, they don't have the patience to wait for a minute or two for the signal to change. But imagine the kind of the ordeal these birds have to undergo in that heat and the pollution. Well, making nest box is not that very hard. It's quite easy. You can even use your old shoes that if you're not yet want to wear it anymore. And birds would be happy to accommodate as long as you put it up in the right way. And this is one such right way to put it up. Put it up in a place where there's not much of the rain or the direct sun, and hang it up such a way that the birds can use them as a cavity box. You don't have to spend elaborate money on buying ready-made boxes. You can make out of a shoe box itself. That's what I teach a lot of children to help these little small birds called the house sparrow. All we do, most of our workshops, is to reuse and recycle. That's what we don't want to take the original resources from the thing. So all these, even the wooden boxes that what you see, are all sourced from the scrap yard. So we don't have any virgin tree being cut to cater to the demand of these woods, right? So just to show you, many of the cities still do have house sparrows, although their numbers are rapidly coming down. So we still can help them. Earlier in the rural side, we used to have this kind of a cattle shed with a lot of room for the sparrows to nest in, and they would love to feed on the insects and the grains that were abundantly available. Even in the rural villages in India, many of them are changing their formats because of the additional extra income of the rapidly growing economy. You see the concrete structures replacing the tiled rows, and many of them unfortunately, the agriculture technology, whether the introduction of the pesticides is a blessings for those people who are growing crops, but actually a big challenge for the birds which feed on the insects. And pesticides are actually a major challenge, and we are not seeing that many insects worldwide. It's over a major challenge. And the young ones of the sparrows and many birds are being fed with insects. So this is how the typical rural side grass agriculture crops used to be there, and they used to be having abundant caterpillars on it. So this is the challenge we used to have. So the bugs are being killed to protect the crops, but the birds which would feed on those the young ones being fed with insects and caterpillars, we have a big challenge too. So that's the major challenge. So sparrows used to occupy any kind of crevices or places. On the earlier, the structures of older buildings would have this. This is a busy bus stand in the urban city, and there are a lot of cut section of the rainwater pipe being used by the birds. There's hardly enough room for them. So because of the small cavities, their clutch size, the number of eggs they lay in a nest, has been drastically reduced. So there are not many young birds coming out of these nests. And once, if it accidentally rains, those nests gets washed away. And they try to accommodate themselves. But there are some people have been putting out the carton boxes too, but they aren't good enough. So we have been teaching them. A lot of people are going for these commercially available nests, or the best made of online is sold. But most of the birds in India are not ready to accept the nest boxes that are sold online, because they are not suitable for the birds that we have here. And sometimes blindly copying what another country does not help us to solve the needs of our local birds. So what we have been doing is using the scrap wooden boxes, because they have a longer shelf life. They can stay longer, and we help the birds to do that. These are ready-made boxes that are available and often imported from other countries, but doesn't last long. And also it's waste of money. For the same thing, you can make your own less than 1/10 the cost. You can make your own nest boxes, or reuse what you have at home, which you would anyway scrap it. There are other clay pot-like ones which are being used, but not user-friendly, because it may fall and break. And sometimes a lot of people don't know what the birds need or how to take care of that. They tie it with a jute string, which is a grass blade. And the sparrow needs nesting material. So he doesn't know this is another grass for it. So it goes and pulls in the very same string in order to line the nest. And thereby the whole pot will fall down. So, and also the entrance hole is not ideally placed here, because chicks are ever hungry. They want their parents to come and feed with the caterpillars and other insects. And they often jump off the nest accidentally. And the adults can't reach them, and the cats or the dogs would feed on them. So this is the major challenge of them. And so you try different materials. A lot of my friends helped us to put up do that. You can use any kind of, even your pot that you want to dispose of or discard, that can be reused for a nest box. All you need is to provide a small leaved plants around, which can be very readily used. And many of our home cookings that we use, the traditional lemon or the curry leaves for the Indian masala that many of us use for our Indian style of cooking, we can grow them in pots or in our kitchen gardens. All we need to do is to provide another just water bath facility and a tray of water. They love to have bath, because some people are so busy they forget to take bath, but the birds love to have bath. And that's what I've seen them in the bird bath that I have on my terrace. They come regularly. And sparrows also love to have a mud bath as well. In order to ward off the pests, they love to have that. Like some of them, the human beings have copied the designs of powdering themselves as well. and what to feed them. Unlike the other countries, which are very cold, covered with snow, often take the grains, many of our Indian birds are not seed eaters in the sense that they are ready to take the grain, or what you call as the seed danglers, that what you have in US or other European countries. So many people, out of the kind-hearted nature, they feed on these birds with the food they eat, like the ready-made fried stuff or the popcorns, which might satisfy the hunger for the crows. But then who's going to eat the dead rat which is there? They're scavengers, basically. So we should not encourage feeding wild birds. And that's what actually we recommend in India, at least, because it's a tropical country and you have a lot of abundant food supply for the birds to go out and forage in the wild, unlike the snow-covered regions in other countries. So this has been our project to help make awareness among the people, and the amount of demand and supply of these nest boxes is so much of a challenge. This is my mentor, Dr. Joseph George, who taught us how to do. He was a wood scientist and chemistry. He started doing it a lot of work. We tried out different methods with bamboo and the boxes, and we have a lot of people devoting their all a volunteer effort. None of them is paid, and we are not a formal organization to have this. And this is Dr. Uday Kumar, who after he moved from Pennsylvania, he came to Bangalore, and he loved to use the garage to make up sun nest boxes. And this is something which is very wonderful partner. And the citizens can do a lot for not only saving sparrows, but also educating a lot of children everywhere. The barn owls love the nest boxes. An adult barn owl feed on a pair of rats every night, and one pair of rats can multiply to over 880 if we are giving them the space to. There are a lot of birds which occupy and the nests and nest boxes. They're just waiting for it. All we need to do is to be concerned, because many of the cavity nesting birds, including these parakeets, are having the huge challenging finding a nesting place. And we have a big problem. They readily accept and occupy these kind of boxes. So it's possible. And the biggest advantage is involving the school children. Government and private school children and the neighboring communities are actually, we have been teaching them and involving them to make and help them out. We can even simple as a school shoebox can be put out. And another thing is, a lot of people said, how about planting trees? Yes, this is a plantation of 12-year-old man-made forest. But then there are not enough older trees for it to have the dry branches to help those primary nest hole makers to make the nest hole. So where do these secondary nest holes have a chance? So big challenges there. We have a lot of people involved. A lot of people would be showing interest, and they're very passionate about it. All we need is a committed team of people who would take care of the making, installing, maintenance, and following up and teaching other people. All we need to do is just to encourage them, study, practice, and teach. And that's what we need to do it. And it's something so wonderful that we have copied and customized the designs for the birds that we have around us. And this is what we do. Many owls definitely would occupy the kind of nest boxes we have. And it's something so many different species we have, which all have been wonderfully utilizing the boxes. And what we have done so far is not even just scratched the pinch of the need that is out there, and lot of help needed for that. And maybe with your Rotary network and Rotaract and a lot of volunteers and your influence can reach out to a lot more people. And it's going to be a wonderful opportunity, not only creating awareness, and also spreading the importance of conserving our habits and habitats for the birds, and also other wildlife that they live in the same habitat. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to take on.
Oh, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, thank you.
Excellent presentation, sir.
Oh my gosh, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands up. So we've got lots of questions. Prasad. So let's start. Go ahead. Let's get start with I have Angela Benson. Can I spotlight you again, Prasad?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Angela is here.
There you go. All right, go ahead, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank the presenter for an excellent presentation. I've learned a lot about the species of birds in India. My question has to do with the the birds' nests that are made by us human beings, and we try to adapt. Do you think that the birds are using that preferably more than their own naturally made nest? And to what extent do you think that our destruction of all this habitat and plants are leading to the extinction of some of the species of these birds in India?
Wonderful question. Yes, our focus has been in the areas where it's rapidly urbanizing. The cities are expanding, pushing away the birds outside. But some are birds struggling to survive and stay put within the urban areas. And the focus has been in actually encouraging those birds to continue to stay rather than going extinct. We have lost quite a few. The numbers have drastically come down. And it's basically because of the same reason. One is the habitat loss. Second is the non-availability of the enough food and the shelter. For these are three things. And so major challenge. And many people think the birds live in their nests. It's not so. Actually, birds build nest only during the breeding season to bring up the young ones. And after that, that's only for about a month or so. Normally, they would be near the nest, and they are going about on their own nearby areas. They spread out and disperse after the nesting is over. So this is the challenge, and we have been helping. Whereas the forested areas outside the urban areas, do we need to interfere and make artificial nest boxes? No, they don't need, because if the habitat is intact, they will always have the waste and means to find their own way of survival. And that's what they have been doing it even from the dinosaur age. And they will continue to do so as long as we protect those habitats.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, excellent question, excellent answer. Dinesh, go ahead. Let's see, let me get you. I can't highlight you without a picture. Yeah, if you guys, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to be highlighted, but go ahead. Did Dinesh want to go? I saw a hand up, no? Okay, let's go to Dr. Tusif. Is Dr. Tusif? No. Dr. Tusif, you want to ask your question? Okay, let me go to Tom Lohner. Is Tom there?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
here.
good. Okay, go ahead, ask your question. There you go.
I was excellent presentation. Thank you very much for sharing, by the way. But my question is, in the United States, there's a big effort to push pollinator gardens, and then we've also seen incorporating peace poles, in the pollinator gardens. But it would seem that we could also take advantage of some of the good information that you provided to also incorporate some, birdhouses so we have a full spectrum of, um, dealing with improving the local environment, not only from a pollinator, but also, bird habitats. So it's another teaching opportunity with the organizations that receive the pollinator gardens, which in most cases are like schools or some other civic organization. So anyway, Karen, maybe that's something we should try to like push within the pollinator clubs. They're pushing these projects. I personally have a pollinator garden that I'm working on with a local high school. So I think I'll definitely take your advice and your good information about showing them how easily they can create birdhouses and the impact that that also has on the environment. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I agree, Tom, totally. And
Thank you so much.
Chris Stein is on too, so yeah. Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Raj.
Oh. Prasad, it was a really excellent presentation with the beautiful, colorful birds and the sound. If you are aware, in Rajasthan, we get the earthen nest. Are you aware about that? In Udaipur and Jaipur, I brought around 10 when I went to Udaipur, and the bird get attracted to that. They are very cheap. I think one cost me around 75 rupees. So that you can add, and those nests are available in Rajasthan, Udaipur, Jaipur area. And the people, they put that nest in front of their house and hang on the trees. The second thing I want to tell you that the sparrows are disappearing. Pune, in my house or in around, we can't see the sparrow because the niche is not available. The sparrow require a particular niche to nest. So we are making the bird nest. I'm a district director, chair for this year. So we have one program called providing the urban nest into the urban area. Still, the sparrows are not getting attracted. We put the nest, we colors and everything, because sparrows number is less and now they get attracted. Other birds are coming. The other birds like the alien species like the pigeon, they come and around and stay there, but sparrows are not getting attracted. So what is the reason?
Well, you need to put up the nest boxes or the feed for sparrows where they're found. You can't put up a nest box and expect them to come and occupy if they're not nowhere seen in the nearby area. They won't know your address. So you need to, if you find them about 1 kilometer away, if you find a small population there, you will have to do a series of nest box so that, and maybe it's a 5-year project to bring to your home. So you will have to request all along that 1 kilometer distance, each house to encourage a shoebox being put up for the sparrows, a feed and a water bath, and also the availability of little plants for them to spend the daytime or the nighttime for them. So that's how the awareness has to spread. It's possible, it's not impossible, it's possible to bring them back, provided you find out where they are, then start helping those population where they are thriving now. And then they expand to the places where then you need to attract.
We provide them the feed and the water. Maybe concrete jungle is now suitable for them. That is, but let me share you one thing. The number of parrots has gone up amazingly. One of my students is working on that. Number of parrots has gone up.
Three reasons. One is the food, shelter, and the opportunity to breed is missing. And when the young ones are there, don't have insects to feed them. They need protein-rich food.
Yeah, true. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Raj.
I will get it.
Yeah, excellent. Go ahead, Judith. I know you had several questions. And Dr. Tusif Bhatt, if you're interested, I'll get you up next there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Judith.
Thank you. Great presentation. So I have a bunch of questions. One of the things we hear is that air pollution is at incredibly high levels. So one, I'm wondering how that affects not just the bird population, but obviously then the insect and plant population that they depend on. And then two, since caterpillars, infant birds eat so many caterpillars to grow because they have no ecostructure and easily digestible, lots of protein. Where do you find those in visions of the Anthropocene, like you showed about your city, where there's no green space anymore? And then finally, one really silly question. Do you ever see birds duking it out for one of these houses?
Well, you might be surprising. Birds are very hardy species. They do thrive and they do try to survive. survival is the kind of key things which they have learned over thousands and thousands of years. Second is that, yes, pollution is a big factor for many of the regions, and air quality is definitely the botheration for the insects. But as far as the birds are directly concerned, they do somehow manage to survive in those high polluted areas as well, as we have seen. And it depends on what kind of feed the bird has evolved in feeding on, and the kind of birds that feed on both insects and grains and fruits and seeds, they thrive well because they are opportunists. And those who are exclusively dependent on insects, if there are people spraying pesticides, not much of insects can be found. So earlier we used to switch on the lights in the evening, a lot of insects would get attracted to it. Or when we used to drive on the roads, a lot of insects would come and get smashed onto the windshield. That was 30, 40 years ago. But now you hardly find them. So that the number of insecticides has done to the insect population is no doubt they are the basis of one of the food chains. So major challenge that we have is that those birds especially prefer to feed their young ones with soft-bodied insects because that's the best protein food for them to have a rapid growth initially. So that's what they like to feed even those adult sparrows are grain eaters. They're any of the grain eaters, most of the grain eaters will prefer insects if they get an opportunity.
Thanks. And do any birds ever duke it out for a house?
Well, that's the thing. We human beings are the most dangerous animal in the world. They are very greedy. They don't like to coexist with others. They want to have everything clean for them. This is the challenge. This is true for any country.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Judith. Lots of good questions. Niraj, before I go to you, can I just take a second, Prasad? Let me move.
Sure, please.
We just want to adjourn the meeting, and we have an announcement. Lori's going to put up a flyer for next week's meeting. So next week we have Brizzy Mwabo, who's going to be doing Circular Economy Initiative for Sustainable Waste Management at Kabalonga Boys Secondary School in Africa. So we're really, really excited to have him on. He's very pumped about coming and presenting. So you should be getting this invitation. Yep, you should be getting this coming out soon. So that's what the flyer will look like. Sorry about this little one.
Can you guys see the flyer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Karen, while she's moving, and the other thing is, this is so exciting, this group. And then the following week, the Earth Talks, the network of Rotary environmental and eco action clubs and all of that group. I think they've got like over 200 clubs now across the world. They've agreed to let us come and crash their monthly meeting. And so we'll be meeting together, all those eco clubs and that. So we've got this next week and then that on the following week. And yeah, I'll be quiet now.
No, it's wonderful, Lori. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can you stay, Prasad, for just a couple more
Yeah.
minutes? Okay, great. All right, we're going to adjourn the regular meeting. Thank you, guys. You're welcome to stick around, and we're going to go a little while longer to hear a couple more things from Prasad.